Hello. Apologies for the longer than usual delay there. I was, Brain, please, sorry. It is hot, and so Brain is not working as well. Setting up things behind the scenes, but we are here, and that means we are ready. Hello.
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 It's quieter than usual, so I'm presuming that everyone else is a bit, drained
Sorry,
from how hot it
I
is.
decided for fun to count how many D20s I had.
Oh, what's the answer?
34.
Oh.
Rookie numbers.
Yeah, it only fills up like half of like my lore's back of hoarding, so.
Anyway, shall we get into the game?
Yeah.
Last time, the
Yeah.
party defeated the spider dragon, and then upon getting deeper into the city, explored, met someone who knows, who was wearing similar things to the person who attacked Ember, and who, as Ainsling figured out, used to go to the same school at the same time Ember did. And then the party rested, had some dreams, and we will pick up in the morning.
Ember is asleep, just head on the table, just surrounded by a bunch of papers with various notes on them. So.
Right. Well, I think perhaps Magdalene would have like moved him to the bed and then started like go. Is he bored?
I think you need to... Like in. Okay.
What?
Not a lot. I think you need to replug your mic.
Also, given that both of you are breaking up a bit, I think it may be an internet issue.
Mm-hmm.
Damn you, Xfinity. Okay.
So what does Magdalene do?
Am I coming to them now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I think Magdalene would have woken up a bit earlier and like moved Ember to the bed and then started trying to like do some work of her own on the conspiracy board.
Alright. Could you give me an intelligence check at disadvantage? Because, this is Ember's conspiracy board about what happened to him, and you are new to the situation.
Yeah.
The person who started it was like very sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say, like, a lot of the notes are ones that he's, like, written before, so he didn't write everything when sleep deprived. So.
Okay.
So you can probably tell that, like, some of the pages are, like, older. Oh.
$19 and a 5.
5. I would say you're not quite sure where to start, just because you're new to the entire situation. That you know that this is Ember's deal, and so you're unsure where to put everything. But yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's like the most advantageous to think about. It's like, okay, you know, the recruiter said this is still going on, not fiends. And like that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am switching to phone to hopefully help with connection problems. So.
Okay, you're sounding good now.
Yeah.
Oh, yay! But yeah. Also, did it come through what Ember said when Magdalene was moving him to the bed?
I don't think so.
Yeah, as she was doing that, he would have just mumbled, "Ginger, it's not your breakfast time."
But yeah. Are there any other scenes people want to have? Eni and Jared had one at the end of the last session.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good right now.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
So what does the party then do?
I have a stupid thing I want to do. Could everyone roll a persuasion check to try and wake up Ember? Or to see who's, like, the most successful at it?
All right.
I
Persuasion.
just
Where
thought
is
it
that?
would be funny.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, well, roll 20's reloading. What did people roll?
7.
7, 9, 10.
Yep.
Who got the 10?
Edie.
Eni.
Edie.
Okay. Yeah, how does Eni wake Ember up?
Yeah, I imagine at this point everyone's all packed up, just Edie just sighs. Jared? Mind
Mm.
taking over here and picking him up? We need to get a move on.
Oh.
Jared doesn't need to do that. I'm fine. I really needed that. Okay. What are we doing? I say both in character and out of character.
I believe the plan is to still go meet with our original target.
Indeed. Almost.
Right.
There
Think
is
Magdalene
anything
has a
else
notebook,
someone would
has
like
a-
to do first?
Like writing a to-do list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get an alliance with the rest of Fang then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who wants to do the talk? I mean, I'm the only one who's from the territories, but I'm not exactly the best.
If the individual we met when handing over the thieves and robbers is good for their word, then hopefully you put in a good word for me. I did introduce myself back then, so there is a chance that I may be known. If not, then I will ask for the individual and the story can be corroborated.
The other thing too is where
Yeah, 'cause,
of slaying the
Basically,
spider
he's
dragon.
gonna.
And slay
Yeah.
the spider dragon. That indeed.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, and that you did get the last blow on it. You beat me to it, so.
We all put in the effort.
Yeah. Word of our slaying the beast might have gone up to him. If not, I'm
Alright.
sure that it soon will.
Right.
And now we have two angles for approach. Let's be off then.
Well,
Right.
actually, Bagel tells you this, so. Okay, so want to do that because, and there may be a bit of a wait list, so we can at least, get on the wait list, start that going, but, from the recorder, last night who said that, so the stuff that, happened to, people responsible didn't just give up. They're still trying. And...
Roxanne, are you able to connect to another device? Because I can hear all the words that are not coming through via Discord from across the hallway, and it's what you're saying, so...
Let me try plug it back in.
Okay. Man, it sure is a Monday, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. It's when we usually do games. I'd be surprised if it
Yeah.
were Tuesday.
I know, but at least on my end, it's especially been a Monday.
Fair. Understandable.
It is also summer, so very hot.
Yeah. It
Okay.
the entirety of the East Coast has been getting hit by 80s and 90s.
Ooh. It's 79 here right now.
Alright. Looks like you're reconnected. Do you want to try again with, forgiving?
Yeah. There's things are being said. Oh,
I tried to, see if that's the problem.
Okay. Okay. What can we do to stall?
Is it working?
Yes.
oh, there we go.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Alright. So,
Yeah, so...
Magdalene, take 2.
Okay, so we definitely want to ask about the rest of things sooner rather than later because I mentioned there's a bit of a wait list, so we can at least set up some time for that. I also wanted to, like, do some shopping and just general looking around, get the lay of the land, you know. I also had a vision from the recorder last night confirming that it's the person you saw. It's like the people who did what they did to Ember didn't just like give up when it went wrong, and you don't kidnap someone to use them as a spell component because you're planning to conjure puppies and kittens. So kind of want to put a stop to whatever they're doing.
Ember just takes a deep breath in, deep breath out.
Then it definitely would be good to investigate further, not only for the sake of Ember, but also for the sake of the entire city. More, less, I don't know.
And
I have
more
an
fame.
idea of... So... Logair, who you met yesterday, studied conjuration, and that seems to be what the person I ran into in Teocta studied as well. I could have Ainsling look into, Or I could ask Ainsling if she can find out who perhaps the head of conjuration studies at the university was, because seems like someone who, best case scenario, might be able to tell us what whatever they were trying to do was, and well, worst case scenario, they were in on it, so.
Very well.
Might give us a bit of a. I wish I had more to go off of this.
Well, I do have
Me-
one question that might help us narrow down at least what they were trying. When you were taken before, did it feel like you were being specifically targeted? Like you were one of perhaps a relatively small number of people who had what they needed, or did it seem like they just needed a living person and you happened to be the one they were able to get their hands on?
I know, but I don't know for how long.
Oh, you know what? You got out of it.
Yeah. I know I was being tracked. That's how I realized something was wrong is, simple thing you can do with the locate object spell is to put something benign on a person, just slip it in their pocket, and then you're able to follow them. One common one, a coin that has some sort of misprint to make it a little more specific, but not so, but not something obvious. And
Okay.
I realized I had one placed on me bit before I was attacked, but the earliest it could on me would have been midday, and it was after sun, so that's doesn't really narrow down the window of when that happened. And he's trying really hard to not again, so he holds that back and just says, that's all I know. I wish I had more to go off of. Wish I
Well, we can find
saved the
more.
coin. I threw it away as soon as I realized what it was. But
We can certainly
then again,
continue.
yes, Jared.
I was simply saying that you say we wish we had more. Well, we know someone is in the city, so we can find more. If we find him again, we gather more information, see if there's a particular place he frequents, and if nothing else, if we don't find any others, at least find out what he's doing here.
Yeah, and that you were being tracked for any I'm just like grabbing a drunk out of an alleyway. Makes you think that you did. One thing I can think of knowing what little I do is, you're a Shadowkai, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so, to leverage your ancestral connection to the Shadowfell to summon something. From there, since there are a number of... I don't think they were trying to summon fiends because they weren't being secretive enough for that, but the Shadowfell has any number of rather nasty non-fiend things in it.
That part of the reason my parents left. And I don't know if this means transmutation when I was there, so I don't know if that's a factor.
Very well could be, very well may not.
That
We don't
could
know.
be... That could be another question to ask Ainsling, is if there were any other Shatterkai. Because... Okay.
Yeah, and if that was what they needed, we should ask around to see if there are any Shadowkai here who could potentially be targeted the next go-around.
That is a potential avenue of investigation, yes.
Feel like we should also get some more. I wish I was able to do it myself, but I don't.
You don't have to do things yourself. You don't have to stand all on your own.
All right. I think I'll get in touch with Ainsling. We go to the Rusted Fang and then figure out how to approach our person of interest.
Reasonable plan as any.
All right. So I think I'm just gonna take the Sending Stone. Ainslie. Who taught and studied conjuration when I attended, and were there any other Shatterkai in attendance?
Yeah.
Appreciate the help, sis.
She'd get back to you. There were
Mhm.
definitely other shadow elves. I'd have to look into it. I don't know the head of conjuration, but I can also look into that. And that's what you get back.
All right. Okay. So NPC is doing some of our homework for us.
Indeed.
All right. So I guess we go say hi to the Rusted Fang. And I think Ember is gonna probably have some sort of thing covering his head just in case they do run into Logair, just to be a little more concealed. So
All right.
So is making an effort to be a little less noticeable than normal. So
Sounds good. Yeah.
No. Also, for clarity of communication, I've been picturing, like, meeting with the rest of Fang in, like, a few days to a week, just so we have, like, time to, like, prep stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I thought it's like we get on the waiting list and then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm assuming the waiting list is, like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we need to see if we're even able to schedule a meeting.
Yeah. It's like. Yeah. Does it take more or less than going to the DMV?
Yeah. So I would say if you is the plan right now go check to see the waiting list?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do that first.
So when you go do that, I think Jared waves the like, oh yeah, I met a knight, and he said da 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 da, and you throw those around, and I think immediately the soldier or the guard is like, okay, who exactly did you meet? Could you describe him? Gets a description. Okay. And you were the ones who defeated the spider dragon? Okay. Yeah. And, they start talking, and then the guard, unfortunately, as the day of the Fang's hatching is coming up, his two children are mostly wanting private conversation with him. We've had this extended from the Siphon herself. However, if you do wish for a guaranteed audience, there will be a tournament in a few days' time. The winners get an audience with the Fang and get a favor from him as well.
Ooh. That sounds promising.
Ooh, what sort of tournament is this?
Few fighters from the area will all compete. Mostly the emphasis for the competition is on the favor. Many times it could, depending on how well you fight, it can even be items from the Lord's Horde. However, his champion knights are usually the victors, and it's not as if they've won every time. It's not guaranteed. Strongest fighters.
Hmm.
Ooh, potential prizes.
Hmm.
Time and we're waiting. Why not?
All right. How many people can? Is it individual fights, or can you do groups or pair?
Groups and pairs are allowed. Some are confident enough to fight individually, others are more prepared and wise, shall we say.
All right. I think he'll kind of if the conversation's done, we'll kind of huddle and say, this is something I can definitely take part in while the rest of you are looking into our person of interest.
It sounds like all of us
Definitely
could take part if we wanted.
That too. Just it's at least some way I can pull my weight. I mean, not that I weigh much in the first place, but that's not the point.
Yeah, at the phrase "some way I can pull my weight," it's just a little bit of a look like I don't know how to describe it other than just like that's a very specific phrasing kind of a thing. Just noticing that.
Oh, Ember saying like pull my weight somehow.
Well, the English language is failing me right now, but basically I don't like the insinuations that you're making of, hey, maybe I can finally pull my own weight kind of a thing.
Okay. It's like Ember is saying, "Oh, I'll be useful for once," and Jared doesn't. And I guess is it Jared like not liking it, or is it?
Kind of like a mixture of not liking the self-deprecation and also confused by it, because what do you mean? You're great. You've been doing great.
Okay, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just in case I wasn't there. Sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
rambling. Okay. So, but yeah, I think he'll pick up on Jared and just say it's like, what?
You've been pulling your own weight. There's a part of me that's tempted to just leave it at that.
Okay.
But no, he would.
I'm gonna have Ember just roll an insight check just to see if like he's gonna pick up like, oh wait, Jared actually cares.
I'd say
Sure.
do it.
Natural one.
Buddy.
It's fine. We can unpack that later.
Yeah, it's like
You're-
the self-deprecation is so bad that he can't even see when someone is showing concern like that.
Okay. But
Yeah.
anyway, should we figure out how we want to approach maybe, possibly, probably shady person? By which I
Try to quietly find them in a crowd, perhaps, and essentially try to see if anything suspicious is done. Need confirmation that something is actually happening, because if we just find them and follow them and there's nothing to do, nothing being done, then things definitely have a chance to go wrong. I am very much not the one to do that if we intend to be silent about it. So I'd leave that to the two of you. Gestures to Eni and Ember, being the quietest of us all. Yeah.
Understandable. Don't have heavy armor on. Making me very noisy. Plus, got my own tricks.
I also So okay, I've been working on my magic, and I think I don't know, I just have a feeling that I might be able to actually get a spell together. And he's gonna flip through his spell book and open to the pages for Unseen Servant. Think that could be helpful.
Could be.
Hello?
Oh, I guess my
Okay.
sorry, I guess I said that too quietly. Just
Yeah,
just
I got
nodding
it was
along.
not just a bad suggestion. Okay.
No, I did respond. I guess I was just too quiet with it, just nodding along. Just yeah,
Okay.
that could be an option.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Because. Because if you were able to strike up conversation and, you know, hold his attention, you still have your dice, right?
Well, of course I do. She'll just kind of, just with a sleight of hand, will from her robe pull out her charlatan dice.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
You could also use a spell to spy on him from a distance.
Yeah. Because basically I was thought was that Eni distraction with the dice game, and then Ember could have an unseen servant like rifle through his stuff to find anything interesting.
That is indeed an option.
That could work really well. Why don't we give it a shot?
Alright. So
Now
I guess we gotta find him now.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Oh, I also have a thought. Eni could have like some sort of bag and like set it close by, and then the unseen servant can just like switch things. Like me, like just slowly like transfer like as many items as I can, so that way like the weight discrepancy isn't super obvious immediately.
Ooh, I'm loving this card.
Oh, like the Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah, my God. Or Samuel, because you just finished the Six of Crows duology, it's like, you know, a good thief always puts something back.
Yeah.
You know. So.
I have
'Cause-
plenty of stuff that I can just replace later.
But yeah, so. But yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I think like first plan is like get a bunch of just like mundane items of like various like, you know, weight that could be swapped out with the bag.
Oh, I have a bunch of adventuring gear that it's like I just still have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
All the
all
mundane
I haven't-
adventuring gear.
Yeah, because like a crowbar, hammer, python, some rations, rope, tinderbox, torches, water skin.
Yeah.
Got a bunch to work with.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so we can use all our useless starting gear. Okay, so
Well, maybe not useless, but definitely should replace it later.
you know what
Later.
I mean. Like, the starting gear that never gets used, rather.
Sometimes, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly,
I
like,
mean,
you don't even need
it-
like a separate bag. We can just like, have it all just like in the bag of holding, and then the unseen servant could just switch things.
That could work.
I'm so curious to see how much we can get away with.
Well, let's go try this out.
Yeah.
First, we need to
What if
find our
Laguerre
mark.
didn't do anything wrong? What if he was just there to study conjuration, and he
He
wasn't
might.
part of a conspiracy? You know what? If that's the case, then we'll just give everything back. So it's fine.
Sure. We
We're
can
not
get most of it
stealing, we're
back.
borrowing without permission.
Oh. Sorry. Sorry. I was doing so good, and then the comment at the end of "What if he's innocent?" just broke me. Anyway,
It's like, wait a minute.
What if we did something wrong?
Yeah,
Andy-
we're planning out the spice, and then
If we did
wait a
something wrong,
minute.
then we'll like ourselves, and we'll be like, you know what, we're very sorry, but hey, person I'm pretty sure I knew, I'm not dead. Could you help me figure out who was responsible for me almost being dead?
yeah. All right. So if you
And we
should
have
probably-
other things we can bribe him with, so it'll be fine.
yeah
We should probably do an investigation check to find him first.
yeah that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So could I roll that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll provide advantage.
Okay. Okay, 15?
15. I would say it takes a
With
while.
the advantage?
Not with advantage. So,
Confirm if it's higher.
because roll 20 is being rolled, or D&D Beyond is being D&D Beyond.
Fair.
Well, I rolled a 2 with advantage, so let's go with the 15, please.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that one.
It takes a little while, but you're able to find him easy enough. At this point, he has his hood down, with the very red hair showing. I'd say as he's sitting down by a cafe.
Okay, do I see where like bag is?
I would say he has it on him. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think he's gonna point out to Eni where it is, and if we're ready to go, then I'm gonna do my thing. So, for those of you at home, basically how it works is because there's been enough downtime where Ember now has like a little bit of magic, so basically he has the prestidigitation cantrip, and once per long rest he can cast something from his spell book within. It's going to take an action, so like he can't do any like reactions, can't concentrate on anything, which sucks because most of what he has is concentration spells, but it's Unseen Servant isn't concentration. So yeah, so basically he's gonna up the spell book and cast it, and then he's gonna just get like a little bit of a nosebleed after he casts it and gets enough of a headache where he's like, yeah, I can't do that again. Until so yeah, so Unseen Servant is up.
All right.
So so how does Eni want to approach? Hello?
Alright. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, just thinking.
Mhm.
So, Eni would go up to him and then just kind of pat him on the back.
Hey, it's you again. Good to see ya.
Oh, hello. I did not expect to meet you again.
Yeah, small little town, huh?
No, it is one of the biggest cities in the territories.
It's a turn of phrase.
Oh yeah.
I see.
Actually, I'm sorry if this is metagaming retroactively. Could we say that I gave Eni a charge of bolstering magic
Yeah.
for the next 10 minutes? So for the next 10 minutes you have an extra D3 to all ability checks and attack rolls.
Sounds good.
Great. I Sorceress Burst him. No. She'll,
I meant
then
with
just...
like deception checks.
I
you know?
know. I'm joking.
We could
Yeah,
Sorcerer's
she'll-
Burst him later, maybe, unless he's a completely innocent person.
Yeah, she'll kind of just wrap an arm around his shoulders. This town is quite fascinating, friend, huh?
Yes, I would say so.
Wanna trade some stories over some drinks and maybe a friendly game of dice?
Roll
It'll be my treat.
roll a persuasion check. This is going to be contested against his insight.
Gotcha. And what did you say Bolt Stream Magic was again?
D3.
D3. Thank you.
And it lasts for 10 minutes.
Well, 27.
Oh yeah, I
Can you roll the D3 just for fun to see if it's a 30?
Please,
Okay.
please,
I'm
please,
trying
please,
to remember how
please.
to do a custom one.
Okay.
In roll 20, you can do
I'll do it.
/R and then the number and then the D
Yeah.
and then the size of the die. So like
Yeah.
that, but without the period.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Okay. I also have physical D3s I could just roll, if that'll make it a bit easier.
I got it. Thank you, though.
Okay.
A 3.
30!
A 30.
wow, 30. That
You seem completely trustworthy.
yeah, like he was suspicious at first, but you're able to pull this off. It's like, oh yeah, I just ran into you. Hey, friend. I think it's like, you know, you put enough emphasis on the dice games. All right. What kind of games are you thinking of?
Well, we could always do liar's dice if you want.
All right. And yeah, could I get a persuasion check from Eni and a for Ember? This is gonna be difficult to like phrase. Either a stealth or arcana check, but using your intelligence, because this is to see how well the unseen servant is doing things.
Okay. Well, Arcana, I have a +7 to, so I'm gonna go with that. So. Please die.
Hey, look at that. Another 27.
Good. Pretty please.
It is not Arcana. It is you're doing stealth or sleight of hand, but using your intelligence
Oh,
instead of dexterity.
okay. So. Okay, I rolled a 15 on the die, so that.
Ooh.
So stealth and sleight of hand are. That would both be +4, so dirty 19.
Wow. Eni, you were able to keep him enraptured. I think that it's like, you know, normally you would cheat to, like, you know, win. But this time you're doing it to keep him distracted, keep him invested. Meanwhile,
Yeah, I
Ember,
would,
yeah.
I would make sure to play the dice like it's a very close game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like I would win a few for a pot winning streak and then lose one or like two.
Yeah.
I also feel like Eni is just very much a type of person that I don't imagine Logair has necessarily encountered, both with like, you know, human, but also like, you know, just her being Eni
yeah.
and how just naturally like fun and unhinged she is. So
Yeah.
Yeah, as the dice game goes on, she would just kind of tell stories of the travels that she and Jared have been on.
Yeah.
and definitely no one else. Definitely no one named Ember, formerly known as Tashin.
Yeah, she would mostly just put emphasis on her and Jared.
Meanwhile, Ember.
Can you roll another check to see if they're to try? Because that was funny.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
You cut out
Anyway,
a bit.
the 19.
Yeah, the 19. you're
Okay.
able to sneak quite a bit of stuff.
All right. Okay, and we'll make sure to knows to try and best they can swap something back of like roughly similar like size and weight, so it's not immediately obvious.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think what you kind of recommended asking was that for another check to see are Jared and Edie a couple?
Yeah.
Or do you think
Yeah.
like
Dirty 20. At this point, he's like, nah, they're not. And as Edie's telling the stories, he figures it out.
Oh.
all right, so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing the bag over and looking into it, what you find that the Unseen Servant has swapped, there's a decent amount of spell components here, but stuff that's some stuff that's like generic, but then also some stuff that is quite particular. You notice that there's a lot of very fine chalk, and there are also some yeah, I'm gonna roll to see, because I was not prepared for you guys to do this, so I'm having to, off the top of my head, plan some things.
challenge of
this-
DMing?
Yeah, this is a luck
it's
check.
expected.
Is there no journal of it's like this is the shady stuff I did 100 years ago?
There is none.
Damn it!
Yeah, so you find like spell components, basically kind of like generic components, stuff that like a lot of wizards would pick up. But like the high quality chalk does stand out. One moment, I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. High quality chalk for the most intricate drawings.
The most elegant and nay, extravagant, that's the word. The most extravagant of games of
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch?
yeah, hopscotch, tic-tac-toe,
Hangman.
Pictionary.
Yeah. I imagine after the
Not a
Unseen Servant
Cool
is
kid
done.
around who wouldn't envy this chalk. Okay. Now the question is, if Edie distracts him a little bit longer, do we want to have the Unseen Servant try and swap everything back to try and
It
seem like
depends.
nothing happened?
For most of it, it's like, yeah, it's like Edie is just like looking. It's like, is there anything in particular?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For the rest of the stuff, though, it's
Oh,
like, yeah,
maybe
I'm fine with
if we
trying that.
kept some of the chalk, then Magdalene could identify it. Maybe to see if it's could tell us something of what it would be used for.
Yeah, we can tap that.
Well, I have a spell it's used for, and I think Magdalene might have that suspicion, since it's a spell that she will be able to cast once we gain another level.
Hello, sorry for the
Oh.
delay. I am back with food.
Ooh,
Okay.
welcome back.
All right. So, I think, okay, I want to try and do something, but I think I have to, like, roll a stealth check for it. I want to try to have Ember catch Eni's eye and kind of, like, tap on his head to be, it's like, could you do message?
I would say no need to stealth check for that.
Okay, so we'll kind of give the, like, hey.
Yeah, and she would just mid-game would just cast message. Everything
I
going
think-
all right?
He'll say, yeah. Oh shit, I need to count this. Okay, it's,
Not for message.
okay.
No, yeah, message.
Oh, I thought
You
it was just 25 words.
that
No.
was sending.
Message is just
Oh,
like brief
okay.
response.
Okay. Okay, so I think, it's like, so, a lot of spell components here, and some interesting chalk in particular. Do you want to distract him so we can swap the stuff back, so he doesn't suspect anything? You can respond to this message.
I'm responding to a message.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
No, I've been listening to the Mighty Nine campaign at work, and that's what like Caleb and Not say every time they at the end of every message is you can respond to this message.
yeah.
I imagine it's
Edie
also
would-
like
Sorry.
Ember has a bit of like muscle memory from when he was first learning message. So even though he was receiving,
I did put list of like cantrips he would have had, so yeah.
Yeah. Edie would just kind of mid.
So much better than passing notes in class.
God.
Yeah. But yeah.
Edie, mid like conversation with him would just kind of laugh and nod, kind of mostly in response to them, and then just another
Mhm.
just subtle cast of message.
Okay.
Maybe keep some of the chalk, see what it is.
Not as of yet, so I guess we're gonna push our luck and we're gonna try and give the stuff back.
yep. I would say with Eni getting the 27, like she just has him fully distracted.
Okay. Can I roll for the unseen servant anyway to see how good and or bad it is?
Yeah.
Much worse. That's an 11. So
11. To clarify what I meant is that Eni wouldn't have to roll again. I would say
Mhm.
with the 11, could I get a persuasion check from Eni just to see if you're able to complete the transfer before he like notices something?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, one more persuasion.
This is basically the heist movie thing of like, oh, dirty 20? Yeah, you just keep him distracted.
Plus
Like,
the D3.
yeah.
It might not matter, but every point counts.
Yep.
22.
22. He was about to, he's about to leave, and you just kind of throw up this like last little bit to distract him, and right
Double
as
or
the
nothing.
right as the
Hold
unseen
on.
servant finishes transferring everything is when he looks down and gets up to leave.
Good playing with you. Have a
Indeed.
good night.
You as well.
She'll give a smile and then just again, let's stay sit for a good like maybe like 5 minutes before
Yeah.
finishing your drink, putting down some coins, and then head
Mhm.
back to the group. All right, how'd that go?
this probably won't affect anything, but could I just, for fun, roll a stealth check for Ember?
Mm-hmm.
See how good at hiding he was. Natural 19. Yeah, I think he's... He
Silent.
kept himself very quiet during that whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
Just full freeze response.
yeah. Yeah, and I think after Logar is well gone, I think he's gonna go over to Eni and just plop down in front of her. And just say, good work.
You okay?
And I think
as
he's gonna
Edie
say it's
would,
like, you finished your drink, and then he's, if possible, he's gonna order some tea for himself. Just,
yeah, Edie was about to like, essentially pull a waitress aside and request a drink.
but yeah. Just tea, please. So,
Easy enough.
mm-hmm. But yeah, and he's gonna, like, just debrief her about everything, so. And also, if, Jared and Magdalene wanna, like, join at this point, then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Did you manage to at least keep some of that chalk?
I think he would have kept the smallest piece he could. Like, enough to study it a bit more, but not enough to, like, give away the way.
All right.
Or that,
Yeah,
enough
see.
so it wouldn't, a small enough piece where it wouldn't be obvious.
Yeah.
So,
You have a.
and
small
he's
piece
gonna
of-
hand it to Magdalene.
Mm-hmm. And teleportation circle in another level. Is this teleportation circle chalk?
It is definitely like, similar chalk to what would be used in teleportation circle.
Or summoning circles.
Exactly. Teleportation circle's a form of summoning circle.
Mm-hmm.
True. Fair.
Conjuration stuff.
Yeah.
So,
High quality material.
hmm.
Also,
But does this tell us on if he knows anything or not? Is the thing.
Yeah, it's true. It could be just useful for teleporting. I'm just worried it's going to be another summoning circle thing that we dealt with.
I mean,
There are...
could I get everyone to roll an insight check?
Alright.
And
Please, Jared.
I think we could say that this is Eni's last use of the D3.
Yeah.
I would like to apply guidance to myself for this, if that's alright.
Mm-hmm.
I will also
Send it
guidance
off, Sean.
myself.
I got an 18 total. So,
Dirty 20.
14. Jared, please. Your combat rolls are good. Your out of combat rolls are so bad.
It's in character. Oh! 21.
Plus 3, so 24.
24.
Yeah. I mean, it would be kind of obvious to Jared, Eni, and Magdalene thinking about it. That's a lot more chalk than someone just like, I might need to cast teleportation circle. That's a lot of chalk.
Yeah, after some
okay.
after some
and we're
thinking
gonna-
about it, Edie would just shake her head. No, it probably is. There's a good chance it might be something then.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right. So move with him then.
Well, I have a few ideas of what it could be. I just don't know what it will be. It could be summoning creatures of various kinds. It could be to make a very large, high-quality teleportation circle so that you could transport either a singular, very large, very destructive creature, or you could summon many swarms of things, whether
Such as,
creatures or students or soldiers,
Such as a spider dragon?
such as a spider dragon.
Could I get Ember, on the Spire Dragon's suggestion, just a religion check? Religion, Arcana, or Nature? Your choice.
Because +7, so. 16?
16. The Spider Dragon is it would be something more material plane than it would outer planes. It's not something spiritual, it's something material.
I don't think the Spire Dragon was them. Those are pretty native to the material plane. They wouldn't need to pull it from somewhere else.
They're definitely freaks of nature and not natural, but they
Yeah.
are material.
That's a
That
different
is-
issue then. Separate from this. Or
Hmm.
At least it looks like it now.
I'm wondering how. I'm wondering if at some point we should be more direct about asking him if he had anything to do with that night.
We could, and I feel that
And-
if there's anyone who's best fit to do it, probably would be the one most closely involved with it, if you're comfortable doing so.
Because
And if you want, you can and will have backup for it.
Maybe that's last resort, but how's the wood carving going?
Jared seems confused by the hard topic shift. Say again?
He just says, I'm going somewhere with this.
It's rough and crude, but it's serviceable. Jared will go into his pouch, and it's a sort of half to 3/4 finished little miniature of himself, essentially. It looks very rough. It is not particularly well made, but it's at the very least you can tell it's supposed to be himself.
All right. Because my thought is that if you decide to talk to him, you could mention that recently you went to Teocta and you met a wood carver and stayed at his house, and he mentioned that his son went missing. So kind of like basically he's pointing out that like Jared might have an in with like trying to weed out at least some initial like vibes of like if he knows of like bringing up out Ember having to reveal that he's there. So
yeah.
so avenue.
That is a potential avenue, yeah.
So at this point, he get suspicious that this would be the third time he ran into you and or Eni.
There's also that as well.
Hmm.
Either way, there's going to be a bit of a risk. It just depends on which one we want to take right now.
Thing is, I don't. So, okay, above table, do you think if because I feel like if Ember tried to talk with Logair himself, he'd probably have to make some wisdom saving throws. So,
like
the DM, would that make sense?
Yeah,
Or
that makes sense.
because the thing is, like, I'm trying to honor the character, like,
yeah.
figure out a way where it's like maybe this could work, but like kind of ground it in some mechanics. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
so I don't know if there's anything that could like give him advantage on wisdom saves. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, 'cause
Another option that we could potentially have is we do know that he very specifically has very high quality chalk, and we have one example of it as well to specifically think of and have in mind. Does anyone have someone does have locate objects, right? Or am I just imagining that?
well, players get locate the object, so
Yeah, so I
Magdalene.
could prep it on.
Okay.
mhm.
Okay, so I feel since we are going to be in town for a few days anyway, for the tournament, we could wait and since we know very specifically it is this kind of chalk, we can use locate object to find more of it, and if we find more, we either find the person or we find where the chalk is being used. And depending on what we find at either of those two locations, then we have grounds for not only getting people involved, but also getting involved ourselves as well.
Okay.
Depending on what we find, of course. If anything at all that we find.
All right.
We should also make sure with any direct confrontation we have some way to prevent him from teleporting away. Problem I had in Teakta. So, yeah, because does Magdalene have counterspell?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Huzzah!
Alright. It sounds as though we have a solid plan, so for now, I think that we have a solid plan, and I don't want to do too much today regarding him, because that might tip him off that something is up. So I think that we should try to find some other way to occupy our time for today, and simply make the most of the time we have to prepare for a fight. Repeated fights, even. Or we've been traveling for a very long time. We could very simply just take some time off. And Jared suggesting time off. That's weird.
Character development.
Insight.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll
Sure.
another insight check. It will be another nat 1.
A 6 from EDS. You just pause, kind of squint at him slightly, and then just shrug. That does sound nice.
Oh, what? Did you say it wasn't that one?
Yes!
Apparently Jared is just completely inscrutable.
I don't know you anymore.
Jared
I
is
was just very distracted by having to not PTSD. So
yeah.
he's just like, sure, whatever you say, Jared.
Is there anything in specific we would like to do, either prepare or otherwise?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely gonna want to find some sort of respite. Maybe, like, I don't know if this place also has, like, hot springs, but maybe some sort of, like, bathhouse where you can just decompress.
Yeah, there's a bathhouse.
Mm-hmm. He will go there and just try and take all the deep breaths he can.
Alright.
How does everyone else spend their time?
Go ahead.
You think Madeleine's gonna head over towards like the market district and spend some time looking around, just like kind of, you know, seeing what's available, and also like what are, you know, like some of her favorite things from home that it's like you can't get over here.
Yeah.
You know, so kind of build a list for what to like order for, you know, the rest in Fang.
Yeah. I would say you walk through, nothing too eventful happens as you do so. And yeah, you're able to pick up what you need and build your wish list.
Mm-hmm.
Eni and Jared.
As for Eni, she would do her usual thing of searching for rumors.
Alright. I would say, insight or persuasion.
You know what? I've been feeling hot about persuasion. Keep it going. 18. Okay, still pretty good.
18.
Still really good.
You
Oh,
hear
low side.
about some of the other competitors. What I would say. Hold on, scrolling through my notes.
Is Logar competing? Could we
Uh,
punch him?
No.
Damn it.
You hear that it's like, oh, there's a deep elf mercenary who's leading their company through. That sounds pretty good. There's a necromancer who's planning on joining solo. Huh. But you definitely
Solo air quotes.
Solo.
yeah.
Looks at my cleric and paladin companions. I think we got this.
But you also definitely hear about the 3 knights who are competing. They are some of the most renowned soldiers in the territory, to the point that like they're actually given similar social status to some like sub-dragon lords.
Ooh. Oh, I just had a maybe terrible idea. If Logar's not gonna fight.
Are there any other?
My possibly terrible idea.
Are there any other rumors you look into, Eni?
Rumors about the competitors were really nice. The other thing she would like to look into, as were mentioned, any other unusual creatures appearing outside of like the spider dragons and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
like if they're more like in town.
Yeah,
Weird appearances.
there have been a few, not too many, but just a few. You hear one. Oh, that sounds like the thing we fought, the Typhon. But there haven't been too many of them. But, I think you overhear as well some soldiers that it seems like the frequency might be going up. Huh.
Definitely, she'll take note of that.
What is Jared doing?
I think that he is going to he's actually going to not do much of anything. He's just going to find either it probably won't be too easy to find a quiet place in a big city like this, but either as quiet as he can or enough of a slight noise where it just turns into like background noise, kind of background white noise kind of a thing, and just start working on working with woodcarver's tools, and if he can finish his current project and maybe move on to another, and if he does well enough, get a proficiency with him.
All right, you're doing that. I would like to cut back to Eni. As you're going around the city, you eventually come to a plaza. And in the center of the plaza is a fountain. Oh, okay, it's a fountain, nice place for people to gather. And then you notice the statue on the fountain. It is, of course, of a dragon. The inscription notes that it is of the Fang. But as your eyes scan it, you notice the head. The scar across one side of the face, covering the eye, all the way up to the horn, which is shattered. And you remember what shattered that horn. You saw it within the prison.
Seems as if he was right. I am on the right track. Well, hopefully this meeting will be peaceful.
And she will, after taking note of that, just sit at the fountain's edge and, again, continue to collect rumors.
Alright. Does, sorry, brain decided to just, yeah. How does, are there any scenes anyone wants to have as everyone meets up?
I think, Ember, like, again, since we're just approach Loghaire, he's gonna throw out, the, terrible idea I just put in the chat. He's gonna say, okay, well, it doesn't seem like he's gonna fight. It's possible he could attend, and therefore he would see me, so... If we want to have someone in the audience to keep an eye on him, I could enter as Tashin to see if he reacts to that. And given it's a public space, he probably wouldn't do anything, at least immediately. But it could be another way to go about getting the quiet part to be out loud, I guess.
That's a potential idea.
Is it too dangerous, is the question.
I think it is less dangerous for us and more potentially dangerous for what may happen after it is revealed. I think it's an interesting idea. I think it very well could work. I just have no way of predicting what could possibly be happening. What could possibly happen after.
That's true.
It may be that nothing happens. It could be something very bad happens. It could be something good happens. I do not know.
Can Ember just roll some sort of insight check to maybe get some sort of rough idea of, like, some way to maybe approach the situation? Because it's like, the most direct route would be he would strike up a conversation and make sure, like, Magdalen's on hand so he can teleport away, but that's not a thing he's necessarily able to do, or it's like he doesn't necessarily feel like he can do it. So, 16.
16. I mean, the audience plan could be good for, like, you know, so someone keeping an eye on him could keep him from, because the thing is too, like, if you need that much chalk, you kind of need it to be stationary wherever it is. And so if someone's in the audience keeping tabs on him, then they could prevent him from getting away, and getting to the thing. Like, if he is like, oh shoot, accelerate plans. Other than that, you know, you could always kidnap him.
We could, yeah.
I'm not saying you should, just saying that's an option on the table. I am also a little unsure. I'm sorry.
No.
No.
It's
okay,
ideas.
Like, morally dubious thing. Get a scroll of suggestion. Suggest him that it would be a wonderful idea for him to tell us everything. But I don't think Ember knows that, like, there's a good chance that a war's gonna start and he's not gonna chip away at his moral compass now. Like, so he doesn't want to get ahead of this, so.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, a dream spell, a scroll of, like, a dream spell scroll would be really expensive, wouldn't it?
Likely.
Well, it's
Yeah.
5th level, so
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I could find that, because I feel like I did that very recently.
Yeah, because...
To craft one would take about 1,500 gold and 25 days. So if someone has already pre-made it, which I doubt, but
And then it's doubled.
Yeah,
Usually.
Yeah.
so it'd be about 3,000 and
Like,
3
that-
weeks, 3.5 weeks.
I mean, unless someone's already made it, and then you don't have to worry about the time.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true.
Alright.
Either way, it is definitely a choice and definitely an option to go for.
An expensive option.
We can pay for it.
Mm-hmm. I guess, do we want to roll a luck check to see if that's even a resource that we could pay for in the city? As I...
Sure. Yeah, I can roll. It's like, did I see anyone selling spell scrolls while I was out shopping?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people selling spell scrolls. But I would say, like, yeah, we could do a luck check to see if they have Dream in stock.
So, what should I roll? Just a d20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
15?
15.
They do have Dream.
Okay. So, how much would it be again?
3,000.
Okay. Because Ember, I believe, has, I think he is like 4,000-ish right now after, giving, like, a bunch to his family, to make sure that they got settled, so... Because I'm paid for it all himself, but I'm wondering if anyone else wants. Or would that be asking too much of Eni to separate from some of her horde?
Yeah, the other option is we wait to level up. And then I picked as one of my spellbook spells because I was looking at it anyway just because it's useful.
Yeah. It is useful to be able to cast Zoom Call. So. No, that is literally how we use it in our home game. It's literally a Zoom Call. So I don't know when we're gonna get a level up is the thing. So
I would say Edie's willing to provide 1,000.
Okay. Well, I guess. Okay. Well, it's 3,000, so that's Eni's paying for like a third of it. So, so it would be like 750 if everyone's chipping in. So.
Yeah, I'll contribute 750. Yeah, math.
Okay.
I do not have that much because I was not paid for the bandits.
Again, Edie would pay.
Oh, right.
1,000.
Okay, it would be 1,000 for the. And then Nagel's like, well, I found it for you, so that counts. Yeah. Okay. Now, here's the question. Do we want to cast it on Logair, who we are incredibly suspicious of? Or do we want to do a dream spell with the person we know was directly involved? Like, 100% sure. Especially if we don't want Logair to know that we're onto him. Because the other person, he already bag. So. Yes.
I think
Well,
that...
what do y'all think? Because Ember is the
I personally have no particularly strong opinion other than to avoid potentially the one in this city. Logair, names. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it is certainly a choice. We could get confirmation for some things, especially if we're able to disguise ourselves somehow, whoever casts the spell.
Yeah. Well, because... Yeah, because here's the thing. Ember doesn't necessarily need to YouTube if he talks to I want to call him something other than Shardface, but I can't think of anything. I'm sorry. So
Shardface is a very, very fun villain name.
I don't care if you make fun of my villains.
Okay. I just like want to do it in a way that's actually being an asshole. So
no, it's a fun name.
Okay, so
it's just a few letters removed from Scarface. It's great.
What? Hard ban. Okay.
Yeah, the other option is we could, it's like I could prep augury and ask. It's like, hey, should we do this?
Okay. We could also do that.
Would, yeah. Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, because my is to go with and bring him a dream and to Just so, to that the party's onto him until it's necessary, so.
Alright.
Augury is, you receive an omen from another worldly entity about the results of a course of action that you. So.
Okay. So, what does Augury say about talking with the Shard Man?
I would say, yeah. To add a little flavor for this, and sorry if it's taking some of some agency away from Magdalene, but as world building, Magdalene starts performing the ritual for augury, and it is unlike what a lot of you are familiar with, because this, especially being a divination and fortune spell, would be associated with a deity from the Empire, specifically the Maelstrom. And so Magdalene performs the ritual using a dream on Shardface. Would be wheel. Good results.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ember would also ask, like, stay in the room with him while he does this. Okay. He's just gonna take some deep breaths and remembering, like, what he was able to do earlier. Cast the spell from the scroll. And that person he met in the alley several weeks ago at this point.
What does
And
the
we'll just...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and he's just gonna say, where are you? Alright, and that
Yeah, would they be doing this like back in the inn room at the end of the day?
Yeah.
yeah.
I do want to explore the dream. So what does it look like? What does Ember make the dream look like?
He's gonna have it look like one of the classrooms
Oh,
at the school. And he is going to make himself look like as he did. Coat, with wide sleeves that were lined with, like, just a little brick, so when you did the semantic commodes of spells, it would catch some of the light. That was a little thing his mom did when making it. And hair, longer, tied back, and has a few, like, just simple, like, braids in it. And much younger, well, I mean, younger as in, like, how he feels, like, so just much more kind of, like, fresh-faced and not, you know, someone who's been aged by experience, I guess, is what I'm looking for, so. And he's just gonna sit in one of the chairs and he's just gonna wait.
Yeah. It doesn't take too long because of the nature of the spell. As the man walks in, a bit surprised. He has the shards in his face. Still. Because I'm
You
presuming...
know you can get those taken out, right?
Why
I
would
did. And he, letting his image fade through will kind of show some like scars he has on his head of where he had some shards embedded that Autumn was able to remove very carefully.
It's a reminder. And a show of dedication.
What exactly? You did ruin my life. I think I'm entitled to a few questions.
I think he looks around. I'm gonna give him another insight check just to... He's looking kind of confused.
17.
Ooh. I was saying he was giving an insight check. Sorry. I think I mumbled it a bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what does he roll? But I'm inciting him as well.
Yeah, he rolled a 12. 17. You would definitely would be able to tell. I think he is confused right now. Because he is like, this is a weird dream and doesn't realize it's dream spell.
All right. Well, we can use that to his advantage. Again, I just want to talk. I would have liked to talk but you decided to run away, so. But look, the universe has given us an opportunity.
And do you expect me to apologize?
I mean, if you were sorry, you would have told my family what you did ages ago, so I'm not expecting that at this point.
Good. We know how to set expectations.
So what was I going to be used for anyway? As sacrifice, vessel.
That is a very directed question. Oh, I see. This isn't my own mind. I think he sits down at one of the seats. Very well, you want to know?
Yes. You know, answer my questions well enough, you'll never hear from me again.
Somehow I doubt
I'll have
that.
disappeared once more.
Somehow I doubt that. But, very well. Do you know where elves came from? We're not... Our people came not from the material world.
Fey Realm, right?
Yes. And the opposite of the realm of spirits is the realm of shadows. one life flourishes, the other, a place our people should never have gone. Makes for a tantalizing lure, allowing the portal to be stronger.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
Okay. 19?
19. Yeah. You know, you thought, oh, Shadow Realm portal. No. Fey Realm portal. Spirit Realm portal. And specifically what he's saying is, it's, you know, you as a Shadow Elf, you know, entities from the Fey Realm either would want to stamp the Shadow presence out, and that's why a sacrifice of a Shadow Elf in particular was chosen. You're like the negative side of a magnet to attract the positive side.
Okay. Anything in particular from the Fey Realm?
Well, in part, nothing particular, but that's what our leader wants. Bring in a lot of other forces to clean house, while they also come through.
And who would your leader be? Tyrant or someone else?
He pulls down the collar of his shirt, and you see, at first you think it's a tattoo of a thorny of like a thorny vine going up his collarbone and over his shoulder. Trust me, the one favor I'll do for you is not telling you. It'll be worse if you know.
So you don't seem to really be enjoying your position, if it's that bad.
Oh, I very much do, but let's just say it takes a specific type.
Insight check.
Yeah.
My luck ran out. I rolled a 6, so that's an 8 total. Had a good string, and then
yeah, he's hard to
It's
read. However, I would say, like, seeing the mark, you could do either a religion or arcana check.
Arcana, because that's better. The natural ones are back. No!
Oh no!
I thought the insight checks with Jared balanced it out. Alright. Okay. Okay, so this is for Miranda. So what's the TLDR version of everything he's said so far?
Yeah.
So
like, it's TLDR version is that
basically needed stuff from Fey Realm, hence why Shadow Elf sacrifice and it's to bring over a bunch of scary stuff.
Yeah. In particular, there is an entity they're planning on bringing over, and I am improving this because I wasn't expecting to do this today. So like a slight retcon is that it's also like they'll need a strong enough portal, which is why, you know, like opposite energies.
Yeah.
And as well, like whatever this entity is they're planning on bringing over is bad news.
All right. Also, just another thing. Can I really recognize him like that? Like to see if like I actually knew this person.
Yeah.
History check to remember his name so I can stop calling him Shard Man. So can I roll?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I roll with advantage because one of those was a 4 and the other was a 16, so dirty 20.
All right. I will roll luck just to see. 11. You haven't met him before.
All right. Okay, this is Miranda asking the Peanut Gallery. Any other questions that think I should be asked? Because I think Ember would have an idea of questions, but Miranda is making this up as she goes along. Miranda does not have 19 intelligence. I don't know what it is, but it's not 19. So.
You know that you met, like, I highly doubt that he would answer, but you know you met him in, Teocta briefly, right? And there was, yeah, there's, now we've met someone else here, so maybe poke and prod somehow of just how far-reaching is this? How many do they need? And like,
yeah,
I don't know exact words, but
all right, okay.
what
So I
exactly
was
is
gonna
happening,
say,
kind of a thing.
Also, it's like, you know, thing out of it. The people you don't like dying horribly.
Oh, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? The audio was cutting out, Roxanne.
Oh, sorry. I guess it's like, power is paradise. All the people you don't like.
Okay. Okay, so ask him what he wants. So it's like, so why are you trying to get all this anyway? You and for many people are in on this. And this is a bit bigger than just you.
Yes. We're, guess you could say, dedication. Although for some, it's less willing.
And when are you trying to get out of this anyway? Like, what's in it for you? a patron sort of thing, or?
He stares off into the distance a bit as you ask that question. Could you roll me an insight check?
Who better this time? Okay. I'm scalding my dice. 12?
12. There's something there that there is something he wants really bad from this. But he's not saying it, and you can't read it. And I think at this point, the mark starts to glow, and you see, even like through his shirt, it's glowing all over his chest and torso and up over his shoulders. And he looks surprised at it, so this is not something he's doing. And from his head start to sprout 2 horns of these thorned vines. Oh, I think this is being cut short. It was a pleasure. And the dream spell ends.
Ember is gonna share everything that happened with the party, and I think that's where we end the session.
Yep.
Just wakes up in a cold sweat, all of the, like, you know, it's kind of like when you have a dream that's like, it doesn't seem like that, like when you're in the dream and then you wake up and you're like, oh, what did my brain conjure? I think he's having that kind of reaction, so it's just hyperventilating a bit when he comes out, so.
But yeah. Hope everyone enjoyed.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.